Oh, hi again and welcome again to my reaction video, and this is Europe Destiny. So I just want to say thank you again for putting likes on my previous video, giving comments, and as well as watching with me. So right now we are going to have a new reaction on this kind of things that which is pandemic or worldwide issue. So yeah, we are not exempted of that, and me also, because I'm just recovery from that. And yeah, I just want to see how this kind of or how Malaysia had this kind of incredible COVID-19 story. So I really want to witness by myself. So wow, without further ado, let's take a look on it. And wow, come and join me. So let's start now.
This is a story about a country in Southeast Asia that often doesn't get much attention. Malaysia. In March, Malaysia was failing. Newspapers published articles about how Malaysia was struggling against COVID-19. Malaysia had 3 times more cases than any country in Southeast Asia. The virus was in every state and federal territory. What makes the story even more sad is how the infection spread, not from Malaysians partying or being badly behaved. It spread from a religious gathering. Malaysians, being well-behaved citizens, had unknowingly spread COVID-19. But here is where the story gets interesting. Malaysia's government quickly made adjustments. Movement Control Order, or MCO, roadblocks, closed events, closed schools, closed non-essential businesses. Malaysia would do MCO 2.0, or the Enhanced Movement Control Order. For anywhere where there were several cases, all businesses were closed. Roads all blocked. No one in or out. No one could leave their homes. But don't worry, food and medical care were provided. And Malaysia's case numbers, they started to drop.
Okay, so I just want to pause over here, and wow, this is like it is my first time to have this kind of encounter, because this kind of pandemic we are facing is a worldwide, and I can see over here that how Malaysia protect their country from this kind of pandemic virus that we had. And wow, from the start they already put an action. Seems the victims are increased, and immediately they impose such kind of very strict law. And as we can see over here, I do really appreciate, wow, how I wish this could be happen as well in my nation, Philippines, because yeah, this kind of quarantine, or this kind of law that imposes in Malaysia, it helps the community, it helps the people to stay on their home, and it helps as well to control the spread of the virus. So this is like I'm having this kind of movie on how a nation, how I wish that every nation can have this kind of, you know, imposing the law, and every people will follow and just stay at home, and every food they just deliver at your door. And wow, this is kind of like it's only a few, maybe every nation that have this kind of laws, and Malaysia is a good example to follow every nation. Though every nation we believe, and I believe as well, that they are doing this kind of imposing, but yeah, in Malaysia is something different. And at that moment, immediately when they impose this kind of quarantine, immediately the victims or the cases slow down. Wow, how I wish my country also will do the same. But yeah, anyway, I'm also updated on what happening to our nation. But yeah, It seems it depends as well on the nation. It depends on the people. How would they unite, or how would they cooperate to this kind of law that the government will impose? So wow, salute to you, Malaysia. Wow, you are such a good example. Every nation who look at this one, I may recommended that. Wow, you are a good example that every nation can follow. Wow, I have nothing more to say, but wow, I'm just amazed. And whew, anyway, let's continue. I'm just full of amazement. So wow, let's go.
On April 14th, the Philippines passed Malaysia in COVID-19 cases. The next day, Indonesia. 2 days later, Singapore. Singapore is a much smaller country with a population 5 times smaller. Singapore now has 15 times the case rate of Malaysia. Malaysia is an example that we can all overcome this. How a country that had so many cases did the right stuff to stop the spread, and almost no media is talking about it. Even myself, I am guilty of this. I made a video of the top 15 countries fighting COVID-19, and Malaysia wasn't included. But luckily, one of my Malaysian followers pointed out Malaysia's story. Malaysia's COVID-19 numbers are good, but when you realize at one point they were 3 times worse than any country in Southeast Asia, and now they're one of the best, it's an incredible story that needs to be told. So I ask you to help me let the world know Malaysia's story.
Okay, so wow, indeed, as he told that, yeah, it is a good example. Malaysia is a good example that every nation can follow, and wow, I am agree of that. And yeah, it was not untold, because mostly the one that they are putting on the news are the top 10, top 20s, top 30s, like on the first, second, third, and fourth, and whatever. So wow, on the recovery as well, they didn't point out which country is better, which country can have this kind of how do you call this one, have this kind of a gradual, or have this kind of immediate country that stop, or have this kind of a good record of this pandemic virus that we are facing. So wow, indeed, thank you so much again to you. What's your his name? It's Anna Shah. Thank you so much for this information. And right now, it is my first time to show this, or to see this kind of video, and wow, I was touched, and I was just full of amazement. And thank you so much for this story. I do really love, and now I know that Malaysia is one of a good example to follow. And I do hope that every person that can watch these videos can inspire not their own self, but for the community of their nation as well. Wow, I do hope so, because this kind of information is such a powerful, or had this kind of message unto us, every nation, that wow, strictly they did their best, and people as well followed their government laws. And I also have one country that knows about this one, maybe aside from Malaysia. It's also Macau, I think, because yeah, they also have this kind of law they impose already when this pandemic strike, and immediately they cut off all the borders of this going to Hong Kong or whatever countries. And wow, immediately the cases there is decreased as well, like Malaysia. So wow, what an incredible, and what kind of this informative information that I have viewed today. And it was just like amazingly giving me this kind of awareness as well, that I'm not because I'm not aware of which country had the actual or the gradual decrease of the cases. And the thing only that I know is Macau. And right now that I watch these videos, wow, it put on my ideas or in my thoughts that wow, Malaysia is the one as well aside from Macau. And how I wish that all nations can do the same things as Malaysia can do did so. Thank you so much again for joining me. And if you have some more videos to give to us, to give reaction, please put down the link below and we can go for it. So thank you so much again for joining me, and bye bye.